It's the Late Fun Guys podcast. I'm Samir. I got my co-host Mark.
Go refs, go. I'm just joking. Go Habs, go.
Go refs, go. Mark, the game ended 2-1 in overtime. Thrilling. Habs played a fantastic game.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You know, this close to being up 3-1 in the series. Wouldn't that have been great, but it's too good to be true. At the same time, you know, if I would have told you it would be 2-2 heading back to Vegas, I think we would have taken that. And at the end of the day, the Habs have really showed that they could compete with this team. Really, Game 4 was their best game, I think, at least defensively. We saw Price and Shara, their sticks went their way. The forechecking was still there. Anderson was still a beast. They really played overall. Just the pace of that game was much better than Game 3. Vegas just capitalized. They had really two great chances like in front of the net, and they capitalized on that with both McNabb and Raw's overtime goal. But at the end of the day, I think the real story is still the reffing. It really got out of control. Politically speaking, if I'm going to talk correctly, you know, it was not consistent. Players don't know.
You only talk correctly.
You know that about me. If I'm gonna, talk off the record, it was shithouse. Tuck completely flipped Deneau around. The most blatant miss was again with McNabb. He's a real SOB. He punched Suzuki in the face, and there's a really good image online. You could see the referee, Chris Lee, looking straight at the play. Yeah. Is he blind? I don't like. What is this? So Mark, the NHL has it. NHL wants Vegas in the finals. That's clear to me.
Mark, let's just say, let me just tell you this, that the refereeing for Game 4 was consistent in the sense that it was for both sides. Montreal got away with just as much as Vegas in that game. I only think where it was inconsistent in terms of fairness against the Habs was Game 3 that Corey Perry high stick should have been called against Vegas, but doesn't matter because that led to an overtime goal and we won that game. And we stole Game 3 where Vegas outplayed us, and we probably outplayed Vegas last night and we lost. So it's a 50-50 series. I told you that from the day one. 2-2 going in doesn't surprise me. I thought it would. I think it's going to go 7. The refereeing is not what we're used to or accustomed to in the regular season, but they're letting them play, and both sides drew one power play each. So if you're not going to have power plays,
what's the point? Why do they have these rule books for in rules? Like there should be some level.
They've always been calling playoffs different. We've known that since we were children. Playoffs are always called different in every sport, even in the NBA, NFL.
So how does Vegas only have 7 penalties since Colorado? It's ridiculously low, the amount of too many men on the ice penalties that they've had. There's clearly some type of bias there.
Well, you can't compare. You can't compare, Mark, because you got to go game by game. And right now, the Habs in Game 4, it was even. It was called evenly. They're both a bunch of non-calls, and that was for both sides. So
I'm just saying it's gotten worse since Game 1 and Game 2. There was still an edge, but I'm letting it go. I'm saying Game 3 and Game 4 with Christie at the helm. It's just been really, really bad. And
well, that's going to change in Game 5.
I hope so.
That's going to change in Game 5. And my point is, if you're not going to see a lot of calls being made by the official staff, then I think you got to get Gustafsson out, because you need a little bit more mobility on the back end. And a guy like Romanov yesterday with a hit or two in the defensive zone would have swung the momentum. And that game was full of momentum. I mean, Vegas called a timeout in the second period with 2 minutes to go. It was awkward timing for a timeout. They didn't score, and the Habs come and pop a goal in with a beauty feed from Suzuki to Byron, where he beats Leonard. But Leonard was
truly credits step up. I noticed the 4-on-4. Of course, you'll always trade Weber for Nozick in the penalty box, and they seem to get some momentum there. But the Habs survived and killed it right away with Byron's beauty, the way he settled it on his stick and then drew Leonard down, went top corner. we were feeling pretty good at that moment.
Yeah, Leonard went down a bit early, but that was pretty much his only mistake all game. I mean,
He was good.
compared to Fleury, I think, or Flower, like he likes to call him. I think he did a great job. So I think they're going to go back to Leonard next game in Vegas, and they're going to ride it. But I don't think. I think that if the Habs come out with the same effort that they did in Game 4, and a little bit more mobility and moving the puck out of the back end, maybe with some changes like seeing Kulak in or Romanov, I think we'll be in a much better position. The guys got to score though. There's got to produce some offense, and I think yesterday we were offensively challenged, even though we played a great defensive game.
Yeah, Vegas obviously brought it defensively too. But I did like what I saw from the Gallagher line. I noticed he had the most dump recoveries in. There was control of the puck there. So I thought that line did really well considering they have a heavy matchup, to defend Vegas's top line. So I think that's a good omen for Montreal. The fourth line, Perry, Armia, Stahl, they brought it. Perry had some great chances. There was that one in the first where he got hit just right before he was going to slide it into the side. But I really like what that fourth line continues to bring. And I don't think there's
Gallagher,
the
Gallagher line.
Sorry,
the Gallagher line was their best line last night, and I think he's due. And it's funny because in the past, that line, especially last year in bubble too, that line was producing with Danault, Gallagher, and Tatar. Gallagher seems hungry, but I think he's injured. I think that's why he's not getting that finish. He seems to get like 80% of the way there, and then that last 20%, he's not able to finish. I hope he finds a way to get it done, because we could really use a boost from him. But he's due for a goal, just like Anderson was.
Yeah. I mean, it's just they got to put pucks on net and get those rebounds. I thought Leonard's rebound control wasn't that great. So just you got to really test him and make him, hit it right out of his pad so that the rebound comes out and you have guys in front of the net and get those cheap goals. But really, the Habs got to score 3 goals. That's really their criteria for success. I think find scoring 1 or 2, you're lucky to win when you do. And if you get 3, Montreal has an awesome chance because they don't lose when they score 3. So that's really the success.
Yeah, they're 9-0 when they score 2 or more. So I think maybe the magic number is 2. But speaking of fourth line players, I mean, Roy for Vegas had a fantastic game. He scored the overtime winner. I mean, you can't ask for a better play from your bottom 6 forwards than what Vegas had. I mean, he got to score in his hometown. You saw his family and friends were there. So I think that's nice to see. I think you're a local boy coming and having success. But at the end of the day, we all want the Habs. I want to see the Habs win, and I think that the next game is going to be again, it's a toss up, and I think this series is going 7, Mark.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. They just got to play like they did in Game 4. It's always going to be more difficult on the road, and the thing is now the Habs need to take at least 1 more in Vegas to advance. But they've shown they could do it in Game 2. The key is just getting off to an early lead. And Price playing the way he has. I think what I really noticed Game 4 is puck handling really makes a big difference. It's almost like having a third defenseman back there. And that's really key because when you say the Habs defensive mobility isn't as there, Price really can help get that puck out of the zone. We saw him cleared a few times there. So I think that's a bit of an edge and something to watch out for. And maybe just, I find they're trying to get the puck, move the puck also out of the zone, the defenseman going like through 2 lines. So we just have something more gradual, but I think they're doing that because of the neutral zone. So they're just going to have to mix it up and keep Vegas honest.
Yeah, you make a good point with Price. I think Flower could handle the puck just as well as Price, but now that he's not playing, I think it's a clear advantage having that puck mobility on the back end. Mark, what are your predictions for Game 5?
Yeah, I'd like to see them take it. I don't think it's the end of the world if they lose it, though. At the end of the day, you just, if it is going to go 7, you got to win Game 6 no matter what. So, you could win 2 in Vegas. That's Unlikely. I just coming out to an early lead. Look, if I said it many times, if they could score 3 goals, score first, it's 99% likely they'll win the game.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go a little bit more solid here on a prediction. I think the Habs again come out with a victory. I think it's going to be another tight game, 3-2. I think we're going to expect to see this. It may open up. It may open up in Game 6. I think you'd see a little bit more scoring if a team is down. They're going to want to produce more offense. But I think for the next game, it's still going to be tight, and both teams are finding success with this tight defensive play. The other series, Mark, your Islanders.
Yeah,
Islanders are tied it with Tampa. It's 2-2, Game 5 tonight. I mean, I was not expecting the Islanders to keep the series this close. I thought the first game was a mulligan for Tampa, but it seems like it's going to be tighter along the way.
No, Ryan Pulock made that huge save with the net open. He just dove in. Kotkaniemi tried to do the same thing, but Waugh just went over him. Look, we know what the Islanders can do. They're a tough team to play. They grind it out, and they still have a chance. This could easily go 7. At the end of the day, Tampa has home court tonight, so they're obviously going to be the favorite, but I wouldn't hold anything against the Lightning with Varlamov and Nets. They could pull it off. We'll have to see.
So I still think Tampa came up flat. I think they learned their lesson from Game 1 and the last game, Game 4. I think Tampa closes this out in 6. I gave the Islanders 2 games anyway. I think Tampa takes the next 2, and they'll be waiting for the winner of Vegas, Montreal. We'll have to stay tuned to find out who's right. So remember, you can follow us, like us on YouTube. We're on all your favorite podcast channels, including Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and many more. It's the Live Fun Guys podcast.
Well, let's go.
Peace.